Hello, everybody. Good week of practice so far. So now we've got one more day of prep on the field, and then tomorrow we'll do our walkthrough, and then Saturday kick it off at 7 o'clock. Looks like we will have a good crowd again, and looking forward to that. Sounds like all that stuff has been worked out, and now we just have to put a good product on the field, and that is our goal for Saturday night and the Saturdays in the future.
Michael, there was a point in spring where Will Plummer seemed like he was really struggling to adjust to a new type of football, really, for him. Where does he make the most growth, would you say, since maybe that point to now?
I think it's come down to, for Will, knowledge is power, as they say. And the more he became comfortable with what we were trying to accomplish, the more he felt more comfortable under center, the more he felt that he could see a defense and had more familiarity with the play calling. He became more and more comfortable with executing the plays. As I challenged him, you should get to a point where I should only have to say a couple of the formation and the formation and maybe the motion, and they should know what play's coming for each game plan. And I think each day this week he became more and more familiar and really has become pretty good at being able to talk the game.
All right. You had said on Monday that you were going to give Jordan some extra opportunities in practice. How's that look so far? And do you envision like a package for him or something in the game? Or?
No, not a package at this point in time. What Jordan's been able to do, it's just hard to get three quarterbacks ready for any game. And so what we did was we gave Jordan the majority of the twos this week, which would enable him to be able to, if going into the game or if we decided, if there was something that occurred, that he'd be ready to go. To do that, we didn't necessarily want to create some new plan that would just incorporate him for certain plays. It was more of just one more week of him being able to take less plays with the scout team and more plays with the starting offense.
Jedd, go ahead, Alex.
Would you envision playing more than one guy, either Cruz or Jordan at some point in the game on Saturday?
My goal would be to play Will the whole game. That would be my goal for the game. Be able to. I think we need to get some continuity back there, and I feel that at this point in time, we've seen some stuff now out of the guys, and would like to see Will take it, and see what he can do this game and see how that looks. And that's kind of where my mind is right now.
What can you do as a play caller to help him settle into a rhythm early in the game?
Well, the biggest thing would be to play a normal game and not get caught up in a situation where the score is dictating some play calling. I also think that, you can always make sure, get certain easy plays, so to speak. But even, this past game, the sixth play of the game, the offense at 6 plays and we're down 21-0. We go back in and we hit a couple screens and it's 21-7. And, you're kind of getting into a little bit of a rhythm. And then we get a stop. We don't go out there, and we have a B.J. Castile's open right in front on a route, and we don't hit him. And then we take a sack, and then we wind up, having to punt, and then they score. And then it's hard to get into a rhythm after that. But there were still plenty of times, too. I think that if we just play with good rhythm and timing, trust the plays, trust the receivers, trust the blocking scheme. The more trust you have, the better you play. And I think that's kind of the things that I've talked to Will about this week is, hey, just trust it. Trust the calls, trust the blocking, trust the receivers. And it's okay to, throw to where they're going to be. You don't have to wait to see them get there.
You mentioned the tackling last week. What's the focus for defensively this week?
Yeah, well, that is the focus. We had 16 missed tackles last week, 6 the week before. We had 3 penalties against BYU. I think we had 8 penalties against San Diego State. So the focus is to understand our number one deal is before you learn how to win, you have to learn how not to lose. And for us right now, it's a matter of blocking and tackling, right? That's fundamentals. And that's where our main focus is and has been all week long. We scrimmaged yesterday. We went out there. We tackled in our stadium. We went out there and had some live drills, live periods. And I think you need to do that sometimes. And when you're building something, part of that build is to make sure that fundamentals never get forgotten while you're dealing with scheme.
So does the losing streak help that you guys aren't maybe overlooking any of you and getting ready for Oregon? And did you ever bring up Washington losing to Montana this week?
We're not overlooking anybody, that's for sure. That's the first thing I would say. The second thing yes, we talked about Jacksonville State against Florida State. We talked about Montana against Washington. We talked about Arkansas versus Texas. We talked about, I think there were some good ones out there. There were some good ball game. Virginia Tech versus North Carolina. There's some games out there, that outcomes are at BYU versus Utah. There were some games, but we also talked about us against BYU and how that was supposed to be such a big upset, right? That we missed 2 field goals, we lose by a touchdown, and we have 4 possessions inside the 12-yard line, and we walk away with 6 points. What would have happened if, right? Would we have been the people that they all talked about at having this huge upset? We never thought it was going to be an upset. We thought we were equally matched and played really good football. So we try to remind our team about at any given time, a team's going to come in and beat a team, and we're going to look at it the same way every time we play, but we don't have the right to overlook anybody, and we have to find a way to, play our best football. And in the great words of Lute Olson and Barry Alvarez, right, buy your season tickets now because in 2 years they'll be sold out. So we've got to find a way to keep building this thing the right way and know that, hey, it's going to happen.
During either Saturday's press conference or Monday's press conference, you mentioned trying to get Jamari Joyner back in the game, but it wasn't the right situation. What is that situation, and how do you go about reintegrating him into the system?
Yeah, I don't. If I mentioned trying to get Jamari Joyner back in the game, that wasn't necessarily the case. It was Jamari was available to play certain plays in the game, and that those plays just didn't get called. Jamari has to do all things needed to be ready. He has to be mentally and physically ready. He has to have a great plan, a great week. And then, as I said the other night, you'd have to take out Tavion to put Jamari in. You'd have to take out Stanley to put Jamari in. Or you'd have to take out BJ to put Jamari in. So right now, I would say that we've got a lot of guys that are battling, that hopefully we could have more than 60 plays. We only had 60 plays against San Diego State. We had 88 against BYU. If we can get more to that 70, 75 play range, which would be the ideal goal for us, that would enable us to be able to play more than 3 or 4 wide receivers and get a chance to get a little bit more of a rotation and see more bodies in there.
Jedd and Rich?
So after the BYU game, those of us sitting in the room thought you guys were playing a pretty good game, and I think you guys thought that game. It certainly wasn't the feeling after the San Diego State game. How did the players respond to what happened Saturday, and how did they do in practice?
Yeah, well, the first 7 minutes of the San Diego State game was bad. The next 53 minutes, it was 17-14. And, that's the truth of the game. You can't let a game get out of hand, right? But what we need to do is we need to make sure that we continue to just play hard and play well and recognize that each opportunity, each moment we have is going to be a moment to get better. And we have to get out of the rut of losing, and we can't ever accept it. And our guys haven't accepted it. But you also have to find a way that it's been a while around here that we've won. And we've had, I think, 1 winning season since 2015, right? So I think we had 3-9 in 2016, then 7-6 in 2017, then 5-7 in 2018, and then 4-8, and then 0-5. So we need to find a way, and now 0-2. So we need to find a way to get off of that streak, start building this thing, start winning some ball games, and I think our guys recognize that and want to do that.
Couple minutes left to start, Rich.
This is for the radio pregame show. Can you give us a preview of NAU on offense and in defense?
Yeah, they're going to, offensively, Aaron Flugard, who's their offensive coordinator, I know him. He's a wide receiver by trade as a former player. So he obviously is very involved in the passing game. I think they're like a 60% passing team, something to that effect. They're going to try to spread you out. They're going to try to, be in shotgun, try to make plays. Certainly in regards to get the ball in their playmakers' hands. They have a couple good playmakers out there. Defensively, their head coach is a DB coach. Their biggest thing for them is turnovers. They try to do everything they can to create them, create takeaways. They play a lot of zone coverage, which is what permits takeaways, eyes on the quarterback rather than eyes on the man, which allows you to get some interceptions. I think that'll be their goal this week, is to try to be able to force some turnovers from us. We got to do a great job of protecting the football and expect them to, mix their man coverage, in on third down.
We'll finish with Brian and Michael. Where do you stand on the idea of storming the field after a win? Is that something that you are in favor of?
I'm in favor of winning. Whatever the results are after that, I guess that would be the result. But I don't think I'm supposed to support that. So I think I'll stay out of that one and kind of go from there. But, I really am for – I'll tell you what I'm for. I'm for our team celebrating a victory at some point in time here soon, and our team being able to embrace how hard it's been for them. We have some players on our team that have had 3 head coaches, 6 position coaches. We have some players on our team that just arrived and have gone through a pretty extensive offseason program. We brought in an entire strength department from the University of Alabama, so we understand it has not been easy. Practices have not been easy. We've been in pads. We've worked very hard at trying to get better and trying to improve. So what I would love to see our team be able to do is be able to see all of that hard work end in a positive. And really the only positive would be ending with more points than the other team. Moral victories are not for us.
Finish with Michael.
I have 2 questions for you. One is that catch that Tavian Cunningham made with 2 guys kind of draped on him. How would you rate that catch in terms of degree of difficulty catches that you've seen over the years?
Oh, it was a great catch. I mean, and I saw the slow motion version of it, which was pretty cool just to be able to see it on the Instagram or Twitter, whatever it was. Someone showed it to me, the video of it. I mean, you got to have a lot of concentration. You have got to be concentrating throughout the entire, not just your route, but finding it between 2 bodies and then to be able to hold on to it. But the one thing about Tavion, he is an uncanny knack to catch deep balls. You have to be a guy that, I don't know if you ever played baseball. I should probably ask him that question because he can track a ball down the field like center fielders can. And it's pretty cool to watch that. So it was a hard, challenging catch, and kudos to him.
We talked to Gunnar Maldonado earlier this week, and he's discussing how he kind of was a package deal with him and Drake Anderson. How did that all kind of come about? What was the sequence of events? Did you view it as kind of, hey, we can get both of these guys in here?
I think I forget which one called first. I forget if it was Drake to Gunnar or Gunnar to Drake. But one of the things that, whichever one I spoke with first, it was within 24 hours, I think. They were both like, hey, coach, we want to come back to Arizona. We want to build this thing. We want to be a part of the change. We each have 4 years of eligibility left. We can play a lot of football for you. We have an opportunity to help build this thing the way you want it. And truthfully, it was almost like a conversation about 2. It wasn't really one guy. It was more like, hey, coach, we want to come help you, and we feel like we can be a part of something special, and we want to come back home.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Okay, guys, thank you. We'll see you on Saturday night.